think about that now.
Yeah, don't worry, I want to start with you.
No, don't. No. Plus, I don't want to repeat too much of what's already been said.
Okay, so we're joined. Hi guys, we're joined by the lovely Ivy. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Ivy, and I volunteer for Sistah Space.
Okay, so we're each just going to have a quick little conversation about how this whole thing has impacted us individually as Sistah Space volunteers, staff, workers, whatever you want to put it. So I'll start with you.
I mean, I've been impacted by all of it. Knowing that something that I built up from scratch has been blasted out all over social media and the website like trash. That hurt me. But there was two really massive things that had an impact. And I think when we heard about our eviction notice from the media, and my colleague Rose, I rang her to tell her, and something in her voice had changed, and I knew it had affected her. And the betrayal from the mayor, I think that was one of the worst things, and from the councillors and MPs that we've worked with for years and who know our situation, that kind of impacted. And when my daughter said to me, you know, Mum, I miss you, we live in the same house, but we just don't get to interact with you anymore, everything is Sistah Space. That hit.
I think one of the main things is that obviously we do work for the Sistah Space, but we all have our own lives individually, and this has been like more and more encroaching on your personal time, your personal life, and it's kind of almost a choice between your normal life and this fight, and obviously it's for the greater good, so we're sacrificing our personal time for this fight, as many other people are doing as well, and we really appreciate it, but it's just a little insight as to how it's personally affected us. So Ivy, how would you say it's affected?
I think for me, coming from the background where I understand DV better because I've experienced it myself, and then having gone to Hackney to ask for help years back, where I was treated the same way they're treating Sistah Space now. And you know, people keep talking about perpetrators, and you think it's somebody who's only hitting you physically, or somebody who's only, you know, you're seeing physical signs of that injury, and that isn't what it is. It needs to be understood that the same way our service users are running away from perpetrators, the same way we run away from perpetrators, is the same way we're having to run away from the council because they're being perpetrators to us. So it's just, for me it's hard because in a way I'm still fighting Hackney in my own personal life. With them being a perpetrator to me, but then also being a perpetrator to the organisation that got me to the point that I am now. And that's very hard because I'm not having to deal with it on my own. I have to deal with it with my kids as well. I have to deal with it seeing other service users going through the same thing, feeling uncertain, not sure what to do, where they stand. So that's really hard.
And if it's not made clear already, like Ivy said, she was a former Sistah Space user, a client that's gone through her own journey and now is helping many other clients. So this is hard to hear. So and it's also like re-trauma, isn't it? It's like triggering because like you said, you've had to go through this. And how demotivating is it to see the people that help you go through the same thing you went through? It's like seeing, not to exaggerate it, but like seeing your hero, your person get that same kind of bullying that you got. Is this
and not just on the subject, we've still got clients at the moment, we've got service users who we're actively working with. The fact that we're restricted from using this place around the clock, the fact that there's two security guards waiting for us, all of these things is preventing us from offering the service in the way that we need to offer it. So thank you for speaking your truth.
And I must say also that we've got such a backlog of work now with survivors, with victims, with potential clients, and that has been very hard. That sometimes we're not able to get back to them, and you know, you make appointments, you make commitments, and you've got a backlog, and having to apologise to them and try, and even though you're saying to them that we're fighting Hackney Council to get a safe space for us, for black women,
You know,
it just doesn't. It just even when you say it,
Yes.
it doesn't make any sense.
and it's not lost on any of us that we're a black organisation, and the moment if we were to make a wrong turn because of any of this, Hackney Council will be waiting, right? Because if they can do this to us without us having done anything wrong, if we were to make an error. So, for example, when you put restrictions on us, Hackney Council, we've got court cases next week, we've got, you know, conferences, child and legal, we've got all of the things that everybody else has, yes? But you haven't given any consideration, not only to us, but to the DV victims. Shame on you. How has it impacted you, Rosanne? I mean, personally?
Personally, it's really, really pissed me off. I'll be honest with you, because it's always one thing after another.
Yeah.
It's like they sit down there and they just working out strategies to try and break us down, to try and well, we know they have tried to defame us and ruin us and everything, but you know what, we give thanks to the universe, we give thanks to the ancestors that we are guided and we're protected, and also by all our supporters. And it's a constant something or another that you all always come in with, and it just shows and proves, because I can't see no other way, that you all have no respect and no regard for African heritage women, for black women. And that's the impact that it's had on me, because you all haven't shown us anything else any other way.
And to clarify, by you all, you mean Hackney Council and the Mayor, not the Council?
Sorry, Hackney Council and the Mayor.
I think just to quickly touch on some of the comments made, personally, I've gone through almost a roller coaster of feelings or opinions. I think at the beginning I was just confused, like, we're such a little organisation, just minding our own business, like, why does everybody care about us all of a sudden? Like, what made these big political parties and these big people in their high up offices even remember that we're here? Is it because when we point this way, it's because our building is literally opposite theirs? So is it like they just see our building and think, I'm going to pick on them today? Like, we're so far removed, only because we invite them into certain environments, but we're so grassroots, community based, for the community, by the community. It's got nothing to do with them. Like, we really don't ask for anything.
It's true though, but then I think what is important and what people need to realise is we are doing what they can't do. We are reaching the people they can't reach.
Wow.
So I went there and I went to them asking for help, and they turned me away. But then when I went to Sistah Space, they recognised me. It's just one of those things. So we are doing the things and reaching women that they can't reach. We are not asking for any special treatment. We're just saying, give us the same equal opportunity we give to other organisations.
But that in itself is my point, because I don't understand, just from a purely logical perspective, right? Let's assume that they're not evil. If, like you said, we're serving a community that they can't or they've been failing to, you would think, logically, if somebody's doing a job for you quietly, you leave them people alone. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't understand what that driving force is to come and undermine the Sistah Space, other than racism, other than discrimination. Like, you see us, we're not even soaring, you know. It's not like we're at a point where we're all winning. If that was the case, we wouldn't have this charity. We're just trying to stay alive, stay afloat, stay well, and you see problem in that. And then I went to the other extreme, which was like, wow, we went from being a little charity with a few volunteers and some clients to a lot of people know our name. Like, the community has been supporting. I'm seeing Sistah Space in places I've never being discussed in.
They're doing
conversations.
They're doing events for us,
fundraisers,
money. How is it that the community is out there doing a job that you wouldn't even begin to be able to do at the council? But I think there's one thing I think that capped everything for me, is when on the 23rd of July, I think it's His Majesty's birthday, right? You said that Hackney Council did an anti-racism and Black Lives Matter policy. You made a commitment to anti-racism and to Black Lives Matter, right in the middle of throwing us under, not even a bus, some 10 times lorry things. So what hurt me the most is that you would use our struggle, our pain, right, to try and score political points. That pissed me off.
Yeah. Do you know, this whole thing is very comical. I think the timing of it is like, I don't know if it's perfect or if it's ridiculous, because it's literally like you chose a race war. You have people protesting, and all over there, it's like they're talking about Black Lives Matter, and then what they're saying is one thing, but their actions are so loud. And you would think that as people in where they are, you would think they have some kind of training or some kind of common sense as to at least act like you're about it, if you're going to say about it. But they're doing the complete opposite. All you're doing is showing the world who you really are, who you really serve, and who you don't. So,
everybody can see.
I think you wanted to touch about, is this the Labour Party now?
Listen, yeah. I don't do the politics thing more than life. Life is politics, yes. But my parents, who were Windrush generation, came over, and all they did talk about was Labour. Our generations came back, it was Labour, 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 Labour. Where is Labour? This is a Labour, Hackney Council is a Labour government. The mayor is a Labour mayor, yeah? I even think the one in Mopac, the London mayor, yeah? We've been contacting him forever, yeah? Not a sound, right? You know who's come to our defence? Everybody else, almost everybody else but Labour. When voting time come around again, watch and look for me.
Yeah. The black
something.
Our community is forever Black Labour, so let us know as a community if this is what you guys are about now, because if it is, then we're out.
Yeah.
If it is, then we're out. They say Black Lives Matter, and then this is how they really
Yeah,
feel.
so you know, this is how we feel, yeah? We're not here to make Hackney Council feel better or worse. Really and truly, you are a council that we try to engage with, we try to be a resource for.
And everyone in that council, everyone in that government, everybody in the meetings, because it's not the mayor alone. And in being silent, you're part of the problem. How many of them are you? And these members of staff, they're there regardless when the mayor's there or not. Before him, during him, and after him. So you guys that sit down there while the mayor's doing all this foolishness and keep quiet, that was in here for Mango Morning the other day.
Most of them was in here, sit down, listen people, yeah? Those, number one, the people that what was that?
Eating off the pastries.
Eating the pastries. Eating off the box of food that you get time.
We provide a service, yeah? And we are inclusive in the hospitality that we offer. We are African and Caribbean heritage specialists, but we are community-based and orientated. Nobody can even say anything, because most of them people sit down in Hackney Council, they've also sat down in Sistah Space, old and new. Mm-hmm. As we say, you know, in our community.
Ivy, send us some words to go home with.
Please.
You need to care enough and be truthful enough to really help fighting DV succeed. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do anyone any good if service users who are having to go through DV are seeing us, the people they come to help them go through the same thing that they are going through, but in a systematic way. Because this is your systematic abusers and perpetrators. It's ridiculous. I don't want to have to say to someone, oh, I volunteer for Sistah Space, and they're like, oh, Sistah Space, oh, you guys can join. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do what you have to do to contribute to us being able to give out the services that are needed.
Yeah.
You know, and don't think that once, you know, a survivor is you know, a woman is helped or she survives from something, then that's the end of it. It's not. It's long term. It's a long term service. We have to be there to be able to help them through it, and then help them after that. And I'm sitting here as someone who is being helped after. I'm not 100%, but I am on the way to where I need to be. And it's only because of Sistah Space. I'm sitting here not because I have to say what I'm saying it, because I have experienced it. I'm saying it because I have lived it. I haven't only lived it on my own, I've lived it with my kids. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm also saying it with the eye of being able to see other women who are going through the same thing that I went through, and then seeing you, the systematic perpetrators, treating us the way that we were running away from our perpetrators. It's just ridiculous. So please, we can't just talk about Black Lives Matter. We also have to talk about love. We also have to be able to talk about caring about people enough, or caring about the issues that you put those policies in for enough to be able to facilitate what is needed for the work to be done.
It's
You are
humanity.
not doing it, we are doing it. Just give us what we need to be able to do the work we need to do.
Peace.
Yes.
That's all. Thank you.
I'll pause it here, but do you guys remember your course, all of our professional training, when they talk about how you have to do multi-agency working?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how, like you said, it's not just a short thing, it's this, it's this, it's this. How are we supposed to liaise with housing from Hackney Council and childcare from Hackney Council, social services from Hackney Council, the police? How are we supposed to be able to multi-network or agency or whatever it's called if this is our borough?
And also, can I just set an example for it easy? Hackney Council are showing other people and organisations how to treat us.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
so if they treat us like that, what's to stop how can other people take us seriously?
This is our local borough, yeah.
This is our local
Yeah.
borough, this is our local community, and how far afield are we going? Support is coming from everywhere,
Yeah.
so that must tell you something.
Yeah.
David and Goliath, that's all.
Hmm.
We're David. I mean,
David and Gul,
if you know
Goliath.
Goliath, if you know the story, David won.
it's true.
Watch us there.
One sling,
Patam.
Yeah.
small axe.
Patam pam.
It's on its way. It hasn't gotten to you yet. It's flying. So
Yeah,
just
that, what they call
watch
that?
out for
That's not literal. We're talking about
Metaphorical.
metaphorically, yeah? Meaning, don't think that you with your perceived power, perceived because it's only in your head, and you're only powerful if we allow you to have that
Yeah.
power.
True.
We don't. We, Sistah Space, taking back the power.
Hi.
Yay!
We need to get one of those remotes because me climbing this table.
You've been on a climber.
I
Somebody
know.
will buy you one.